Kentuckiana's News Channel, WHAS 11. Your home for the 125th running of the Kentucky Derby. This is Thunder Over Louisville.
Welcome back, everyone. We're an hour and a half away from the beginning of Thunder, the fireworks, but within this hour, you will see Tora, 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 the much talked about demonstration, the reenactment of the bombing of Pearl Harbor.
Welcome back. I'm Jean West with Doug Crawford live on the riverfront in the Belvedere. And let's go now to our own explosive personality, Bob Sokoler, who is on the Belvedere. Bob?
Thanks, Jean. Thanks, Doug. Standing with Travis Allen. Travis, the son of Don Allen, here in the Louisville area. Travis is a Marine, and you were telling me just moments ago that your bags are in fact packed, right?
Yes, sir.
You haven't got orders yet to go to Costa Rica?
No, sir.
But are you expecting those shortly?
Not really, sir. I don't know. It just all depends. I'm ready because I'll get a short notice, so when I have my bags packed so I can spend time with my wife where I have to go.
Before you leave?
Yes, sir.
Marines, what's the saying about Marines?
First to go, last to know.
Last to know. But you're ready and you will go?
Yes, sir.
Doesn't matter what the politics are. Our guys here locally, this guy Travis from Louisville, we can be proud of him that he's ready to serve the country. Back to you guys.
Right, indeed, and we wish him
you, Robert.
the best of luck as well. All right, we're going to go to a break and come back with more excitement for you. Don't go anywhere.
Tora, 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 coming right up, right after this break. Stay with us.
Tradition, the 125th running of the Kentucky Derby. Tradition, the historic shadows of Churchill Downs. Tradition, the experienced professionals of WHAS 11. 47 years of bringing you the most comprehensive Eclipse Award-winning Derby coverage. Proud of our heritage and tradition. Kentuckiana's News Channel, WHAS 11. Your home for Derby 125.
In just a few moments, Tora, Tora, Tora will begin. This air show has been performed numerous times across the country, and 5 years ago it was across the river at the Clark County Air Show.
And the Confederate Air Force, based out of Texas, has been recreating December 7th for almost 30 years. The show incorporates as many as 16 aircraft, spectacular explosions, dogfights, historic narration, and realistic sound effects. The group says it wants to bring one of history's most recognized events to life so that future generations can continue to learn what happened that day in 1941.
And as we promised, we won't be talking over Tora, Tora, Tora. You're going to hear the official show call. That's what the rest of the crowd here at Thunder Over Louisville is hearing. We are tapped directly into it through our command center with the Thunder Over Louisville. Here it is, live Tora, Tora, Tora.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Kentuckians all, my name is Colonel Ken Kreitz, and on behalf of the entire 7,500 members of the Confederate Air Force, welcome to the 10th anniversary of Thunder Over Louisville. Ladies and gentlemen, we of the Confederate Air Force are proud to have the opportunity to participate in this great air show. We are based in Midland, Texas. We have members all over the world and almost 150 aircraft that were used by all branches of the armed forces in virtually every country in that period from 1939 through 1945. I'd like you to close your eyes for just a moment, and I'd like you to go back in history with me into that giant chamber of your imagination. The date is late 1930s. The place, Europe. The Germans have already invaded Spain and then Poland. The entire British Isles have been bombed and strafed and burned in the European campaign. While At the same time, on the other side of the ocean, in China, General Chiang Kai-shek has enlisted the aid of an American flyer named Claire Chennault. General Chennault put together a volunteer group called the American Volunteer Group, later to be known very famously as the Flying Tigers. Let's move to the beautiful Hawaiian Islands. The time, early in the morning on December the 7th, 1941. It's a beautiful, bright, sunshiny morning. Young men and women are starting to raise the flags above the ships that they occupy at Pearl Harbor. The dates are starting to come back in off of their nights on the beach. That very evening, ladies and gentlemen, the night before, there was a lot of competition between the bands from the Nevada, the Arizona, and other great ships of America's Pacific Fleet. The date, December the 7th, 1941. It's about 7:50 in the morning. 6 aircraft carriers, the Akagi, the Kaga, the Hiryu, Soryu, Shokaku, and Zuikaku, are setting 200 miles north of the Hawaiian Islands. Admiral Husband Kimmel, General Walter Short are preparing for their morning golf game. They are just starting to walk out of their quarters when suddenly and unexpectedly the bombs begin to drop on the island base at Pearl Harbor. The date, December the 7th, 1941. Ladies and gentlemen, you are there. 235 aircraft of the Imperial Japanese Navy, the Mitsubishi A6M0, the Nakajima B-5N Kate, and the Aichi D-38 dive bomber have come down on Pearl Harbor, Hickam, Bellows, Aloia, and the other bases at Pearl Harbor. 2 aircraft, about 4 o'clock in the morning, one over Pearl Harbor, the other over the deep base out at the Lahaina on Maui, have called back to their commander and said none of the American ships are in the deep harbor at Lahaina. So the Navy came all the way into Pearl Harbor, high above the Mitsubishi A6M0, the fastest airplane in the Pacific Theater at that particular time. When General Claire Chennault called back after having engaged it with his P-40 Warhawks, he said that they had the fastest, most maneuverable aircraft in the Pacific Theater. Our brass in the War Department didn't believe it. At this very moment, as the invasion started at 7:55 that morning, our ambassador, Secretary of State Cardell Hull, was scheduled to visit with Admiral Nomura. Admiral Nomura was going to present a declaration from the Japanese people that said, we can no longer negotiate peace. General Walter Short, immediately upon seeing the invasion, went back into his quarters, changed into his uniform, and headed down toward his base. Admiral Husband Kimmel stood spellbound as he watched. The color of his face was exactly the color of his white uniform. American forces had figured out what the secret messages were that were going from the embassies to their people. Watch now, high above, as one of the FM-2 Wildcats, there was 18 of them coming in from the Lexington. Neither of American aircraft carriers were at the base that morning. a Nakajima B-5N Kate. The torpedo bomb immediately underneath it. This torpedo was specially designed to run shallow in the 50-foot deep water at Pearl Harbor so that it could take out America's battleships and fleets, ships of the Pacific Fleet. Admiral Yamamoto had charged Masuro Genda to put together the battle plan for this December the 7th morning. Captain Matsuo Fushida, as he came in with the lead aircraft, called back to his ship, Tora, 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 a signal that they had completely surprised the American fleet at Pearl Harbor that December the 7th morning, 1941. Hear the thunder of the roar of the bombs, the concussion of the fire, the heat from the flames. The first wave of aircraft, the attack lasted just over 1 hour. At 8:50 in the morning, the second attack started, coming back in to clean up what the first had not done. When they got to Pearl Harbor, they found the black acrid smoke hanging thick in the air. The Aichi D-3A dive bomber high above, as it comes in, spirals down, dropping a 250-pound bomb. When the bomb went through the foredeck alongside the number 2 gun on the United States battleship Arizona, it exploded with such force that it sucked the living air out of that great ship. As the ship settled back into the water, Admiral Kimmel was spellbound, for he could not say over 1,000 American sailors went to a watery grave that morning. When the second flight came back or started back towards the ships, Admiral Nagomo made a very grievous error in that he did not send the third wave of aircraft back into Pearl Harbor. He said and rationed in his mind that since all of his aircraft, or most of them, had come back safely, it would be foolish to send the third wave in, as neither of America's flat tops were at bay that morning. Both the Lexington and the Enterprise were at sea, one going to Midway, the other to Guam, to drop off additional aircraft. Think of yourself as a young 18-year-old sailor that morning. You're getting ready to raise the flag over the battleship Arizona. Suddenly, you are covered with aircraft coming from all directions and at all altitudes. You're startled. You have no idea what's going on, for America did not expect to be invaded. America did not expect to be drawn into World War II. We were a very isolated country at that time. We did not want to be involved in World War II. We did not believe that it was our place. Yet here suddenly was this unwarranted attack of American forces at Pearl Harbor. Think of that young sailor as he saw the bombs explode on the foredecks of the Arizona, the Nevada, the Vestal, the Oglala, and so many other ships of the sea. Listen to the sounds of war. It's not pretty, is it? War is never pretty. War is a very devastating attack on any man's sensibilities. Feel the heat from the explosions, the bombs, the concussion. You're that 18-year-old sailor. You are that young man who's standing at Hickam Field when that attack goes off and the munitions go off just as they did before you just now. You're that young private standing with a .45 caliber pistol trying to shoot down the attacking forces. You're that bosun's mate that's trying to get the locks taken off of the munitions so that you can start firing back. Pearl Harbor, Hickam, up at Apana Point, 2 young servicemen with a brand new tool called mobile radar called down to their commander just before the attack began and said, we have a large flight of aircraft coming in from the northwest. He said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You guys go ahead and shut down and go on to breakfast. But indeed, it was not the flight of B-17s that they thought was coming in from the United States. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, it was the attack that took place at Pearl Harbor that December the 7th morning, 1941.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked. The attack yesterday on the Hawaiian Islands has caused severe damage to American naval and military forces. I regret to tell you that very many American lives have been lost. With confidence in our armed forces, with the unbounding determination of our people, we will gain the inevitable triumph, so help us God.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what happened. For while America did not want to become involved in World War II, America and her allies banded together, put together the greatest air armada this world has ever known. Rosie became a riveter. Ford started building B-24 bombers. General Motors built the TBM. And America went to war, not because she wanted to, but because she had to. Ladies and gentlemen, the aircraft of Tora, built for the movie in 1967, are a reminder that America is the greatest free nation in the world. We are the greatest free nation because of people just like you, people here in Kentuckiana, the people that have the will and the wherewithal and the capability to put together whatever is necessary to protect freedom throughout the world. Ladies and gentlemen, war is not pretty. Please do not misconstrue what we do here today. For if America never becomes involved in war again, it will be too soon. But by the same token, we must never lose sight of the fact that America in her greatness is the bulwark of freedom throughout the world. Ladies and gentlemen, America is the greatest free nation in the world. Kentuckiana, if you believe America is the greatest nation in the world, I want you to put your hands together and let them hear you all the way from Cincinnati to Tell City that you love this great nation. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Colonel Ken Kreitz, and on behalf of the entire 7,500 members of the Confederate Air Force, God bless you. We love you, Kentuckiana. We're delighted to have had the opportunity to be a part of the 10th anniversary of Thunder Over Louisville.
In your hands, my fellow citizens, more than mine, will rest the final success or failure of our course. Since this country was founded, each generation of Americans has been summoned to give testimony to its national loyalty. The graves of young Americans who answered the call to service surround the globe. Now the trumpet summons us again. Not as a call to bear arms, though arms we need. Not as a call to battle, though in battle we are. But a call to bear the burden of a long twilight struggle, year in and year out, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, a struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself.
And there you have it, Tora, Tora, Tora.
You know, Gene, the first time that this has been reenacted over a body of water like this, and of course at the Clark County Air Show, it was done right there in the middle of the airstrip, and very realistic. The announcer trying to impart a lot of reality there with his demonstrations.
Indeed, and as the Confederate Air Force, which is based out of Texas, has been saying, it was quite educational. We learned a lot about exactly how that battle happened. It was such a significant day in our history that I think, learning about it and actually kind of feeling it is it's an interesting thing.
And how it was such a surprise attack. I think if that's one thing that he communicated so well, was setting the stage up beforehand. And even people here were sort of on edge, very quiet, hush over the crowd, waiting to see what was going to happen next. And you could almost have put yourself in Pearl Harbor back on that December 7th day. And
it was quite a show, very well choreographed. You could see all of the planes, as many as 16 planes with explosions and fires. It was very, very well done.
And we're watching a parade of the fireworks barges, as they call it, as the barges are going into place. And just upriver from this barge, as you see on your screen, is Rachel Platt. Rachel, what was the crowd's reaction to Tora, Tora, Tora where you are?
I've lost my IFB completely, guys. Can't hear a thing.
Okay.
All right, Rachel, we'll go back to you. But, you hear that? It's starting to be. They're starting to come. Those barges are moving into place. You will be entertained by musical selections from the past 9 Thunder shows. And, boy, there were some really fine shows.
Oh, I know it. The best of Thunder, all shows put into one. And Lisa Chiava is across the river, maybe with some crowd reaction to Tora, Tora, Tora. How'd they like it, Lisa?
So many people telling me, Doug, that it was a history lesson, a living history lesson. In fact, I found a couple people in the crowd that actually remember Pearl Harbor. Clifford and Joyce Maudlin from Greencastle, Indiana. What do you think of the show tonight?
I liked it. Really, really educational.
What do you remember the day Pearl Harbor happened?
Well, I remember hearing it on the radio. I was about 12 years old, and I can tell you where I was at. I can remember where sitting right on the floor when they announced it.
What during the show you thought worked well to emphasize to the people what it was like?
Well, when they were bombing, and I thought it was very interesting. It's very educational. It's very realistic.
Yeah.
Very
From
realistic.
what you've seen in newsreels and all, it looked to me like really realistic.
Very nice.
Some other folks, too, had heard of the controversy that went on before, and seeing it in action actually kind of answered some questions about what the controversy was about. What did you think of the Tora?
I thought it was wonderful. I thought it was something that we needed to see as part of history. The show was wonderful.
And you had an interesting comment. You thought it was like watching TV?
It's like the Discovery Channel.
Like the Discovery.
Smells. The smells is what made you think.
The smells. Okay, so actually being here and seeing the sights and sounds made a difference. Doug, Jean?
All right, Lisa, thank you. And Julie Koenig is also on the Indiana side of the river over at the Kingfish. Julie, what are the folks there saying about Tora?
Well, Gene, everyone really kind of stopped and took time to come outside of the restaurant and have a look. And everyone was really very quiet, actually. They were listening to the announcer go over what happened that morning on December 7th. Let's give you a look over the rail here, if Kelly can come forward. You can see some folks are still kind of braving the conditions out here, making sure they keep that front row seat now that Tora has passed. And this gentleman here has been videotaping the show. Let's talk to him for a second. You told me you're from New Albany. What did you think of Tora?
Well, I enjoyed the show. Very good.
Yeah, I saw you were trying to videotape it. Was it all that you had heard about, read about?
Yes, I'd seen the Tora performance 5 years ago at the Clark County Airport, and I really enjoyed it more, longer, and it showed ground movement and things like that. But really, this was a great performance, and I enjoyed it very much.
All right, thank you very much, and we'll send it back to you guys on the Belvedere.
All right, and that wraps up our coverage, our part of the air show. But sit back, get ready for all the sights and sounds of Thunder.
Gary and Melissa are next. We'll see you back here at 10.
The Derby Festival thanks the tremendous sponsors that bring you America's largest event, the opening ceremonies of Derby Festival, Thunder Over Louisville. Their dedication to the best has made Thunder what it is today, a showpiece for Kentucky and Indiana. Thunder is sponsored by the Kroger Company, United Parcel Service, and Tyson Holly Farms, who are proud to bring you the best of Thunder, the thunder of all thunders.
Your home for Derby 125, WHAS 11.
Happy birthday to you.
Just 10 years ago, the magic began.
Happy birthday, dear Thunder.
The magic that has become Thunder Over Louisville. Welcome to our 10-year Best of Thunder celebration. And the opening ceremonies of the Kentucky Derby Festival, live from the riverfront in Louisville, Kentucky. Thunder Over Louisville is sponsored by the Kroger Company. You can always count on us. By UPS, moving at the speed of business. And by Tyson Holly Farms, We're Chicken. The official Emmy Award-winning broadcast of Thunder Over Louisville is an exclusive production of Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11. Now, here are your hosts, Gary Rodemeyer and Melissa Swan.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to your official 10th anniversary Best of Thunder broadcast here on Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11. I'm Gary Rodemeyer.
And I'm Melissa Swan. Happy birthday, Thunder Over Louisville. Gary, it is hard to believe this is the 10th anniversary for Thunder.
And, of course, the first Thunder was held at high noon. And after that, they decided, well, maybe it would be better to have a fireworks display at night. This celebration has been going on all day. A wonderful air show along the Ohio riverbanks here today that most of the people have been watching and enjoying. As you can see, the sunset glow of the lights of the city of Louisville, the Aegon Tower in the background there, and that just below you, the barges moving into position, the barges of Thunder that carry 51 tons of fireworks to be detonated in a short time right here along the banks of the Ohio to start the Derby Festival in Louisville.
And the prelude on those barges has already been wowing the crowd. Kind of a surprise when all those barges come in and really burst those first few very, very small fireworks to tell the crowd that, yes, it is about to begin. Thunder Over Louisville, what is called the granddaddy of all fireworks in the United States, is about to begin in less than 1 hour. Of course, a lot of people up and down the Ohio River are very hardy souls today. They have been braving the cold temperatures. The wind chill is in the 30s still this evening, a bit of a drizzle. But for that, they have been dazzled by planes of the past, warbirds of the past, and planes of the future. A lot of aircraft going up and down the river today.
We've just been thrilled by the planes of Tora, Tora, Tora. That is the reenactment of the bombing on Pearl Harbor, a sometimes controversial event here in Louisville over the past several weeks, but it went off tonight without a hitch. And still to come, you'll want to watch the first 82 seconds of Thunder Over Louisville tonight, because you're going to see something that's never been seen in the history of fireworks, and that is a new kind of pyrotechnic imported from Spain that's going to cause different kinds of pastel colors that have never been seen in fireworks before. So the first 82 seconds will just be a prelude to the 10th anniversary Thunder. Now, to give you a little preview, what you're going to see tonight is the best of all of the past Thunders over Louisville, and you'll see some of the highlights of those past shows and a crescendo finish that will leave you shaking.
And Gary, tonight we want to welcome back the Armed Services Network. We are being watched in 150 countries, more than 150, including Hong Kong, Germany, Belgium, Spain, Honduras. You get the idea. You can click on it, WHAS11.com, and watch Thunder Over Louisville live as they are just about to show you the destruction of the Clark Memorial Bridge.
We want to also welcome our friends at WTVQ in Lexington, where this broadcast is being simulcast tonight. And all across the world, you can watch us on the internet tonight on WHAS 11. Well, we have 17 cameras perched high around the area tonight, high, low, north, south, at sea, everywhere in between. It's going to be a wonderful show. And now we begin to hear some of the reports in the background. The barges moving into shape, and there they go. Those are the barges of Thunder.
And that is the beginning of Thunder Over Louisville, telling the people that the barges have moved into position for this extravaganza that is about to begin.
I know you could feel perhaps the Belvedere. We're sitting on the Belvedere, which stretches out over Interstate 64. And that tends to vibrate at this particular time when you feel the reports from that. But it will get incredibly more intense as the night progresses. The fireworks set to go off at 9:30 exactly, and this is programmed for exactly 28 minutes. So it will all happen between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. We're going to take you around now and show you some of the various shots that we're able to treat you to tonight. Really terrific. You're looking at downtown Louisville tonight, the glow of the Aegon Dome and Tower across the street. You see the Humana building there, and the shot from Indiana. And now along the wharf, the Belle of Louisville. The Belle is home safe in port tonight. They decided to have a party on board the Belle of Louisville, but as it turns out, they decided not to leave port because the people didn't want to miss a single shot of fireworks. So they're going to see it all from the Belle because she's not going to leave the dock.
We will also have an exclusive view for you from the command center, where you will actually see the keys turned and the buttons pushed for Thunder Over Louisville tonight. And we are live, of course, in Sky 11. That gives you a tremendous view of the city of Louisville and the fireworks in the foreground. Of course, we have all the artillery and the firepower from the 2nd Street Bridge.
And we'll be back in just a moment with more of the 10th Thunder Over Louisville.
Pin.
The gold Pegasus pin, Doctor. Instant win.
Number.
I'll compare the number in the envelope to the winning number in the Courier Journal.
Scratch. No, the scratch-off ticket in the envelope. If we spelled the word festival, we win a major prize.
It's not brain surgery. It's just 3 easy ways to win when you become a $19.99 Pegasus sponsor.
We can close him up now.
And welcome back to Thunder Over Louisville, our exclusive coverage here on WHAS 11. We are your official Thunder Over Louisville station, and we have people all over the Ohio River on both sides to show you this extravaganza tonight.
And of course, the most popular location would be as close to the fireworks as you can possibly get. And that would be our man, Barry Burnson, who for, well, as long as we can remember, has been surviving this atop the 2nd Street Bridge. And Barry, are you ready?
I don't know how many tons of firepower are exactly on this bridge, but I know that there are enough to blow the entire thing out of the water if we're not careful. Over here we're going to have 9 howitzers from Fort Knox that are going to add their thunder to the already thunderous thunder. And of course all the fireworks up here, and we're not even sure exactly what that involves except for the fact that at some point there's going to be a huge rainbow of color. And let's let this one van go through here so that we can show you the other situation here on the bridge. You know, I've been up here for 9 years in the middle of all this stuff, and it seems like because this is the 10th annual, see, everybody's leaving the bridge but me. This is the 10th annual Thunder, and it looks like every entrepreneur in the city is trying to make a buck off of this thing. Let me show you this right here. Take a look at this. This is the only porta pot on the entire bridge, and it's got a $20 charge to it. I've been trying to collect pennies and nickels that have been lying on the bridge bed here for the last couple of hours. Can't do it. This could make for a very long night. I'm hoping my morning partner Rachel Platt over at Waterfront Park maybe could lend me a few bucks. Rachel, what do you think?
Hey, Burnson, you're on your own on that one. I'm live here at Waterfront Park with about 50 to 60,000 people. We've got a spectacular view here for you, and we've got Waterfront Crane Cam to bring it all to you here. So we're going to bring you all the shots. Still plenty of room, though, for you at home if you want to come on down. Not too bad here at all. I've got a great view. We're going to be talking to all sorts of folks here about the best of Thunder. Another person with a great view right across the river over there at Kingfish, Julie Koenig. Julie?
Hello from the sunny side of the river. This is the Kingfish restaurant where only the truly strong are out in this cold weather waiting for the fireworks. I'm joined again by Graham and his cousin Atticus. You guys ready? You psyched?
Uh-huh.
You cold?
Yeah. Not that much.
We've got a great view. We can see the 2nd Street Bridge and a beautiful shot of the skyline of Louisville. Of course, another great place to watch the fireworks is from the Belvedere, and we're looking for Kirby Adams over on the Belvedere. Take it away, Kirby.
Thanks, Julie. Thanks a lot from the sunny side. Gosh, if you have sun over there, we're doing something wrong over here. I've got a great gig again here on the Belvedere this year. I'm going to be talking with Lieutenant Tony Ritchie later on about what it was like to actually fly in the air show today. But first I want to speak to someone I have a little bone to pick with. This is Brother Bob. Brother Bob of Mount St. Francis. We asked him out here last year to kind of talk to the big guy and get us some good weather out here. Once again, you have failed.
Now wait a second. We did say the prayers. We lit the candles,
yes.
And look, there's no rain.
You're right.
So it is cold, and we should have the candles out here, I think, to warm us up. But hey, at least it's no rain tonight.
We'll promise you'll come back again next year then, and we'll bring the candles out here, and all will be well.
Well, okay.
All right. Thanks, Brother Bob. We'll talk to you, Lieutenant Ritchie, in just a bit. And now to a guy they're telling me is a bit of a slouch. I'm going to send it over to Terry Miners, who's once again convinced them to let him into the command center. Terry?
This is how I do it, Kirby. It's by letting Wayne Hettinger know that he's the man.
It's about...
I'm sorry about that, sir, and I'll get your beverage here in a few moments, and I'll say it one more time. You the man. You the man.
If you really knew somebody that could get you a pass, you wouldn't have to be doing
I'm
this.
sorry. I'll take care of you there in a few minutes, there, buddy. Also, I get to get on the walkie-talkies and be like a big shot. This here's Chief Double Card, Billy Two Card, Jefferson County Police. I need somebody to come up here and shine my badge. 10-4. I get to do important things like that up here in the command center, too. So we're going to have a busy night up here tonight, and I get to stay warm. But I do occasionally have to run down the 24 floors, down to Gary and Melissa, and rub your feet and bring you hot coffee or something. How'd you get that in your contract?
Very hot coffee, but you got to leave the socks on today before you can massage the feet.
I had to take the gloves off, though. I couldn't operate with the gloves on.
They are difficult. They are a bit cumbersome.
Yeah.
Apparently, Terry knows who to talk to get that assignment up there. And thanks to all of our Thunder reporters. In addition to our reporter positions, we also have 12 cameras up and down the Ohio River to give you a very beautiful beautiful view of these exploding fireworks in under an hour now.
Let's take a look around at some of those camera vantage points. And for the 9th year of Thunder Over Louisville, our veteran news photographer Donnie Rourke has bravely volunteered to stand just a few feet away from the Thunder fireworks when they are detonated from one of 8 fireworks barges on the Ohio River. Say hello, Donnie.
Hello, Donnie, and out on this very chilly night, out in the middle of the river this year on the U.S. Coast Guard riverboat is Karen Bivey. The U.S. Coast Guard has been nice enough to shuttle her from the skydiving landing barges that aren't seeing a lot of action today for an Army Special Forces demonstration. She has been out in the middle of the river taking a lot of beautiful pictures today.
Boy, I bet it's cold out there. Tony Wailetta joins us once again with that signature shot that is so spectacular. It's not so spectacular now because you can't see the fireworks exploding behind the buildings, but this is the shot from the Trinity Towers in downtown Louisville. And I would say just before 10 o'clock, this is the shot that you may see most often because it is wonderful. It's a signature shot.
It certainly is. Always on the move here next to us on the Belvedere, one of 2 crane cameras that we have this year. In addition, we have another one at Waterfront Park. With us again is Lynn Todd. He has a very breezy perch out there on crane camera today. He is almost over the Ohio River, stretching out from the Belvedere.
Tim Ankoviak is on the 18th floor of the Galt House. Hello, Tim. Where he has been following aircraft all day long, and that's a real chore. So, Tim, take a little break right now from the aircraft and be rested because the big fireworks show is just a few moments away.
You'll have a lot to do. And here is WHAS 11's exclusive bridge cam, where you'll see the fireworks and lights stream past the top girders of the bridge for a shot that only you at home watching us here on Kentuckiana's News Channel will be able to see.
And look for head-on shots of the Louisville skyline as well as the throngs of Thunder viewers lining the southern Indiana shoreline from our Thunder camera location, which is in Ashland Park, with our photographer, Tim Furnish.
And last but certainly not least, we have Sky 11. You really get a beautiful picture from Sky 11 and Power Cam. It's the big picture from the sky with rock-steady aerial photography. News Channel photographer Aaron Ellis and pilot Ted Roberts are aboard Sky 11 throughout the fireworks show. And that is a great place to sit and watch this show.
Ted Roberts, of course, is a great photographer in his own right. So he and Aaron, we have 2 photographers up there, and they're doing very well. As you can see, there's a remarkable crew of people who have long been dedicated to producing a wonderful show for Thunder Over Louisville. And there are many, many people throughout the year who present this show and plan it and execute it here tonight. And we want to take a moment tonight to pay special tribute to a person that was lost over the past year in a skydiving accident. And we speak of a dear compatriot of all those here, Elizabeth Whitmer.
Elizabeth was a dedicated member of the Aerial All-Stars skydiving team for many years. She will be sorely missed by all who knew the pleasure of just knowing Elizabeth. She was a Louisvillian who hailed from Murray, Kentucky, and she truly lived life to its fullest. Besides skydiving, she would go rollerblading, scuba diving, rock climbing. I'd like for you to please join us in taking just a few minutes to remember our friend Elizabeth through one of her favorite songs.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living in my love you more.
Oh, it's fun. It is the most fun thing I can ever think of, and I do a lot of sports and I do a lot of fun things. This, on a beautiful day like this, you just can't compare it to anything else. It's great. You don't feel like you're falling. You do feel more or less like you're bird flying. In fact, that's a saying that we have. Skydivers know why the birds sing.
Oh, I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. In my life, I love you more.
And Elizabeth is survived by her husband and fellow skydiver Jim Bedway and stepdaughter Jamil, brothers Robert and John Whitmer, and her mother Nancy Whitmer. Elizabeth was 39 years old.
Derby Festival has an end-of-the-century deal for you. Your Pegasus sponsorship is 3 to win. That means 3 ways to win for the regular $2 price. One way to win is with the Pegasus pin itself. Just like in years past, find a gold pin and win an instant prize from one of these area businesses and become eligible for one of 15 grand prizes. Wear your Pegasus pin and get free admission to many festival events like Chowagga. Stay tuned for more ways to win with 3 to win and Derby Festival 99.
Welcome back to your only official coverage of Thunder Over Louisville here on Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11. You are looking at the Louisville skyline about to be lit up by 51 tons of fireworks in just about 40 minutes.
And when we say lit up, we mean lit up. If you have never seen thunder before, it is incredible. There is an explosion that does, as we've been telling you all day, rock this city inside out. It is incredible, and it has been worth the wait.
We want to warn you, too. There's always a fake finale at the end. You think it's all over, and then suddenly it erupts once again. Let's go to Terry Miners in the control center and see how things are underway in preparations there. Terry?
They're under control as always, Gary. Here I am coveting another one of these awesome jackets. This year's chairwoman of the Kentucky Derby Festival is Penny Stegman. Hello, darling.
Hello, how are you?
I want one of those jackets.
We'll talk later.
My life is not complete till I get one of these jackets that I know people fight for, and when you wear that to New York City or somewhere, or France maybe,
yes.
A fashion capital,
yes.
People go nuts for them.
They do. People stop you on the street. They're desperate for them.
All right.
But I hold on to it.
Well, hold on. You get to be the big cheese this whole year.
Yes.
That's pretty exciting, isn't it?
It's pretty exciting.
Do you get an escort? Do you get a chauffeur?
I get that a little bit later, but right now we're just going to do, like the best of Thunder. So that's what I'm excited about.
All right. We're pumped about that, too.
We're pretty pumped.
She told me she's getting a hairdresser every morning. Somebody comes over, rubs her feet. She's got
That's
it all
true.
away.
That's
Penny,
true.
it's going to be tough to give this up in a couple of weeks.
I know it, but he's going to make me, so, but I'm keeping the coat.
Very good. All right, it's Penny Stegman, Mike Berry, of course, with the Kentucky Derby Festival. Good to see you again, sir.
Thank you, Terry. Yes, I'm the one who makes sure that her hair's done and rubs her feet. So.
Well, it has to be done by somebody. I didn't say who was going to be. I didn't know you were going to admit to it. How do you like your turnout for the Thunder tonight?
I really like it. The great thing is that the weather is held up for us and no rain. A little chilly out there, but the fireworks are going to warm us up.
All right, we're looking excited to this big fireworks show coming up in a few minutes. Penny and Mike get to go over to the FAA side over here and rub some shoulders, tell people thanks and all that stuff, and then hand out the checks. So we'll see you again in a few minutes from the command center. Back to you, Gary Melissa.
All right, thank you very much, Terry. If you don't live in town, that's the Derby Festival Committee coats that they wear, and they're controversial. Some people love them. A lot of people hate them, but they're still here.
Let's go down now and see Kirby Adams. She's on the Belvedere with some people waiting for the fireworks.
Thank you, Melissa. Well, actually, I'm waiting with someone who was actually part of the show today. This is Lieutenant Tony Ritchie, and he is one of the F-18 pilots who was out performing this afternoon. Welcome to Thunder Over Louisville.
Thanks for having us here. We appreciate it.
Now, you've heard that this is some fireworks show, haven't you?
I've heard it's the most tremendous fireworks display I'll probably ever see.
Well, I hope you stick around and enjoy it. Well, I want to find out a little bit about what the weather did for your show today. How did it affect affect the flying?
Well, it worked out bad for some people. It actually worked out kind of good for us, although we had to modify the high show and do a low show. The A-10 Warthog wasn't able to come out for the low ceiling, so we got to come out a few minutes early and stick around a little bit longer and give the folks a pretty good show.
I know everybody really enjoyed it. There was a big ah when you all went over. Do you enjoy doing these air shows?
We do. That's as fun as this job is, and I can tell you, I think I have the best job in the world. It is a tremendous amount of fun to come out here and talk to these people and let them see what we do and put some smiles on some faces.
Terrific. I always thought I had the best job in the world, but actually you have the best job in the world because you get to wear a really good uniform at the same time, which a lot of people out here are thinking is pretty cool. Thanks so much for speaking with us, Lieutenant Ritchie.
Okay, thanks for having me.
All right, have a great Thunder, enjoy it, and tell us what you think afterwards, okay? All right, with that, I'm going to throw it back to you, Gary and Melissa from the Belvedere.
All right, thank you very much, Kirby Adams, talking to people who have taken part in the Thunder Air Show.
Lieutenant Ritchie was one of those guys that really came to the rescue today and filled in, because at that particular point, the A-10s could not fly because the ceiling was too low, and he came in and put on an extended show, which really excited the crowd, and it was wonderful. The F-18, as you know, is a high-power Navy jet fighter, and because of its capabilities, it was able to operate under that low ceiling and do the tight turns, and it was really a spectacular show operating in a very confined space. Well, there's the old Belle of Louisville down there, and the people waving at you from the Belvedere, the crowd below, all anticipating Thunder Over Louisville coming up in about 34 minutes now. And we have a very special salute to America that's coming your way now.
That will be done by Walter Cronkite. Proud to be an American. People, fans of Thunder Over Louisville, have heard this in the past. It is very impressive and very patriotic. We are some 30 minutes away from the Thunder Fireworks Show, but to begin it and to be introduced that show, we have a lot of patriotic music and flags and Walter Cronkite.
I was born on July 4th, 1776. And the Declaration of Independence is my birth certificate. The bloodlines of the world run through my veins because I offer freedom to the oppressed. I am many things and many people. I am the nation. I am 243 million living souls and the ghost of millions who have lived and died for me. I am Nathan Hale and Paul Revere. I stood at Lexington and fired the shot heard round the world. I am Washington, Jefferson, and Molly Pitcher. I'm John Paul Jones, the Green Mountain Boys, and Davy Crockett. I am Lee and Grant and Abe Lincoln. I remember the Alamo, the Maine, and Pearl Harbor. When freedom called, I answered and stayed until it was over there. I left my heroic dead in Flanders fields, on the rocks of Corregidor, the bleak slopes of Korea, and in the steaming jungles of Vietnam. I am the Brooklyn Bridge, the wheat fields of Kansas, and the granite hills of Vermont. I'm the coal mines of the Virginians and the bluegrass of Kentucky, the Golden Gate and the Grand Canyon. I am Independence Hall, the spirit of St. Louis, and a footprint on the moon. I am big. I sprawl from the Atlantic to the Pacific. My arms reach out to embrace Alaska and Hawaii, more than 3 million miles throbbing with industry and technology. I am more than 2 million farms. I am forest, field, mountain, and desert. I am quiet villages and cities that never sleep. You can look at me and see Ben Franklin, Betsy Ross, and Babe Ruth. I am 170,000 schools and colleges and over 260,000 churches, synagogues, and mosques where my people worship God as they think best. I am a ballot dropped into a box and an editorial in the newspaper. I am the roar of a crowd in a stadium and the voices of a choir in a cathedral. I am Mark Twain and Stephen Foster, Tom Edison, Albert Einstein, and Walt Disney. I am the Wright brothers, Will Rogers and Bill Cosby. I am Henry Ford, Jonas Salk, John F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King. Yes, I am the nation, and these are what I am. I was conceived in freedom, and God willing, in freedom I will spend the rest of my days. Proud to be American.
The cheer is Leanne Rimes with her rendition of the national anthem. We join you once again for Thunder Over Louisville. And we're going to go to Bob Sokoler, who is with what has been a hushed crowd here on the Belvedere while the singing of the national anthem was performed. Bob?
Gary, Melissa, I've been doing a lot of research the past couple of weeks on the history of Thunder Over Louisville. You know, we're celebrating the 10th year, and many people believe that Thunder actually started in 1990. True to a point. But did you know, and there were, by the way, some 3,350 fireworks in 1990, but actually, all the legwork for Thunder began a year earlier when a luncheon was overcrowded.
Thunder was the brainchild of the Derby Festival's Dan Madgett, Wayne Hettinger of Visual Presentations, and Ben Harper from Kroger. Back in 1989, the riverfront was the backdrop for a Derby luncheon event that had become very popular.
10,000 people showed up outside, and we beamed it back into the luncheon so the people at the luncheon could see what we were doing outside.
But the Derby event needed even more room and a more controlled environment. So, in 1990, it was moved here to the fairgrounds, and for the first time, it was given an official Derby name. It would be known as Thunder Over Louisville. Thunder Over Louisville. absolutely amazing.
We could not get any more people in the fairgrounds. The traffic stopped on the expressway when the fireworks started. We realized we had a great thing going, but also had a problem.
So looking for more room, in 1991, another decision was made. Return Thunder to the river and deal with the headaches of coordinating the entire event.
We got to close up roads on both sides of the river, city, state on both sides, a state bridge. We knew we were going to be closing down the bridge.
1991 saw Thunder double in size. In 1992, a Thunder tradition began, the largest American flag ever flown from a helicopter. It took 3 months to figure out just how to do it.
Toughest thing about doing this show is what?
No doubt about it, keeping 100% of people happy 100% of the time.
Local parking lots had been filled up in the immediate area.
The other challenge, according to Wayne, has been making Thunder different each year.
You've got a lady standing there that you're going to put a new dress on every year. It's the same lady, we just got to give her a different look. And so we just keep on building to it and try to find a new way to come at it.
We've watched the themes of Thunder go from Phantom to American to Hollywood. 1997 was a Wild Blue Thunder. And you may remember last year, a Fantasy Thunder.
As much as Thunder has evolved over the past number of years, there has been one thing, for the most part, that has stayed pretty much the same. And it involves the 2nd Street Bridge. More specifically, a person on the 2nd Street Bridge, the daredevil, Barry Burnson.
I'm not sure my insurance is paid up.
We've seen Barry Burnson dressed in all sorts of outfits, ready for just about anything.
Every year I try to get out of this assignment. I try to go someplace safe, like up in the command center or stay home. But they say, no, they've got it in my contract. I've got to go on the bridge every year. The main thing is you dress for the occasion, which is to save your life. Okay? That's the main thing, is to stay uninjured, unburned, unhit by flying debris.
The bomb bursting in air.
For Kentuckiana, Thunder Over Louisville has created an incredible kickoff ceremony for Derby events, and it's brought in a lot of money.
It is fully a quarter of the entire economic impact of the Derby Festival, about $15 million of a $60 million economic impact.
And just when you thought you've heard everything about Thunder you need to know, you hear the plans for next year.
We've joked about doubling up. Let's do a double Thunder. Just take everything we got and double it up.
And knowing Wayne's passion for the unusual, don't be surprised by a double Thunder Over Louisville next year.
Would that be a 2-night affair, or Thunder to the second power, or what do we have here?
We're going to take a short break, and we want to show you right before we go to that break what's called Fire Dancer. It's an aerobatics and pyrotechnics of Steve Oliver. He is in the air over the Ohio River right now. We'll be right back here on Kentuckiana's News Channel, WHAS 11. And we're showing you more now of the Steve Oliver Fire Dancer show with pilot Bill Hammond aboard. This has been swooping over the Ohio River and right in front of the Belvedere for 3 or 4 minutes now as a prelude to Thunder Over Louisville. And we are just about 18 minutes away from the big Thunder extravaganza that will light up Louisville and, of course, will introduce the 2 weeks of festivities leading up to the Kentucky Derby.
This is just the latest in the air show that's been going on throughout the day. Started about 2:30 this afternoon, and we've been with you throughout, and along with us today has been Sherman Morgan, who is our aviation expert. And Sherman joins us once again. He is a pilot for U.S. Airways and also a member of the Air Force Reserve, currently training down in Texas once again, being recertified on a certain kind of aircraft down there, T-37, right?
That's true.
Yeah. And this was a good air show today, restricted just a little bit by the cloud cover, but we saw some exciting things today.
We really did. We we had a terrific air show. I think we're going to play a recap of everything in a few minutes. But most of all, it was the people. It was worth coming for the people. Here we're seeing Lima, 2 of their airplanes showing some nice tight formation, good precision formation aerobatics by an excellent team out of Naperville, Illinois. This is all 6 members. This is the only 6-plane unit in the United States. Those 3 T-6s are from the North American Aero Team, Dixie Group out of Louisiana, Florida, and Alabama, putting on a terrific show. This is Julie Clark's gold-plated Mopar T-34. Julie put on a terrific show for us today, and if ever there was a lady pilot that liked to wave the American flag, that's Miss Julie Clark doing it for us right there. This is Dave Dacey's just thrilling wing walking.
Especially out cold. You said they have to chunk the ice off of him when he came down.
I was afraid they were going to have to go after him with an ice pick or a stove or something to get him off there. As, it was a little chilly, but he hung in there and just gave us a terrific show. Here I think we're going to see a left pedal hammerhead over the top. Boy, I couldn't do that. That's pretty sensational. The next thing that we're going to see after Mr. Dacey shows us how to walk upside down.
So he is just strapped in by his feet there, correct?
I think he's also got a little panel behind him there that around his waist. This is the Northern Lights showing off the fantastic agility and power of their hand-built Extra S aircraft built in Germany. They've got 5 planes in the group, and they just put on a fantastic show for us today. This is showing how to pull a few negative G's in formation without hurting yourself too badly, I suppose. Look at that. It's just fantastic display of the agility of those airplanes.
Oh, they get so close. It's amazing.
Now we're going into the trainer section that we saw today. That's the A4 trainer showing us his hook down for landing on carriers. And on the right side is the T2 Buckeye jet trainer for the Navy. A couple of venerable, very reliable trainers. And this is what I'm flying now, the T-37 Tweet. Next we've got our KC-10 Stratotanker coming at us. He's got his boom down. Almost looks like he's going to hit the bridge there. That was just a sensational show that these guys put on.
This is a huge aircraft. Oh, it's just amazing to see it that low. It's just
it was just remarkable. Sensational. That's a great shot of the city in the background. Just all in all, an amazing performance by the KC-10 guys today. Here's our strategic airlift representative today, the C-141 Starlifter, coming at us with his landing lights on and the gear up, flaps up. That's an excellent view of what a T-tail transport aircraft is supposed to look like. These guys put on a terrific show until the P-51 of Brad Hood showed up. And this is our local fighter expert in the Hurry Home Honey that thrilled the crowd until the F-18 came out and gave us a nice preview of what the modern-day Navy fighter could do. These are the Kentucky C-130 Air National Guard guys from Louisville, showing how to drop into formation and putting on an excellent show for the crowd today. Our Coast Guard HH-65 Dolphin helicopter put on an excellent sea rescue demonstration today with a swimmer. He lowered out of the helicopter, went into the water, and showed us how he would go about rescuing a...
That looked cold, didn't it?
We were remarking earlier in the day how cold these poor rescue divers looked.
Oh gosh,
this is remarkable. You said earlier on, Sherm, that was the same kind of aircraft that did that rescue off the tower in Atlanta not long ago.
It was the same technique. It certainly was. There's an excellent view of the F-18 Hornet showing us his afterburners, and made several passes. This is basically what we have here is a Navy pilot showing us the top of his airplane. So you don't get to see that every day. They really put on a terrific show with the Hornet today. I think I heard you talking earlier about how they really stepped up to the plate. Did you see how the top of the wing went transonic there when he lit those burners and pulled hard in this highly humid air? Next is our Apache helicopter gunship, and you can see that chain gun 30mm cannon swinging around. It's slaved to the helmet's the pilot's helmet mounted sight, so wherever the pilot is looking, that gun is pointing. The Apache guys put on a terrific show for us today, and as we commented earlier, I believe this unit is on its way to Europe. quite shortly. So we were thrilled to have them here today showing us what their aircraft are capable of. Next, we're going to see a little picture of the A-10 coming into the picture. This was the very end of the battle scene with the UH-60 Black Hawk. There's our Warthog dancing across the sky in front of the crowd today, putting on a good show right over the river. Did a good job of staying in the box, staying below the weather.
And they did manage to get up. They had been taken out of the program a little earlier and then put back in because of the changing weather conditions.
That's exactly right. So we were thrilled to see them. Look at the afterburner coming out of the back of that F-16. That's just amazing. This is our German allies, the German Panavia Tornado airplane. Here he's got his wings swept back, making a high-speed pass over the river. It was just a thrilling show for the entire audience, especially when you looked in the back and saw those two afterburners blazing out of the tail of that airplane. It's really a good showing today by the Germans. This is an F-14 Tomcat. You can see he's got his afterburners on. You can see the two vertical tails. It makes it easy to tell it's not a tornado. He's got his wings swept back. He's going fast. And there's a frontal view of the same aircraft. This is the airplane that can engage 6 targets simultaneously over 100 miles away with the Phoenix missile system.
Remarkable camera work by our guys up in the 18th floor of the Galt House. It really is terrific the way they stay with them, because these guys are moving fast.
Boy, you can say that again. This was the slow speed pass of the B-1B. You can see he has his wings swept forward. And he came by nice, about as slow as he could, and really showed off the platform of the airplane. Later he made a high-speed pass for us, and boy, those big engines really rumbled the city, didn't they?
They sure did. I was in the Galt House at this time, and it really reverberates through the entire building.
Well, I think this was the big crowd pleaser that the audience was waiting for a good part of the day, the Tora show. You can see how well coordinated all the pyrotechnics were. The accompanying narration was just outstanding. The authentically reproduced aircraft and maintained aircraft just really gave the crowd really a terrific show. For my part, I really got a lot out of it. I thought everyone associated with the Tora program did a fantastic job.
You get the real sense of organized confusion there, did you not?
It was a very impressive day. And here along the waterfront, while we've been watching a recap of the day, we've been seeing the special flags fly in. Of course, this is the official kickoff for Derby festivities, the Run for the Roses. And there you're taking a look at a giant rose flag as it is being pulled along the riverfront here between Indiana and Kentucky.
Derby 125, it seems like only yesterday. In fact, it was 1974 we were doing the centennial of that. Well, it was between 8 and 8:30 tonight that we saw the reenactment of the attack on Pearl Harbor back in 1941, December the 7th. And let's go back and take a look one more time at the really highlight of the air show this afternoon that culminated tonight with Tora.
In your hands, my fellow citizens, more than mine, will rest the final success or failure of our course. Since this country was founded, each generation of Americans has been summoned to give testimony to its national loyalty. The graves of young Americans who answered the call to service surround the globe. Now the trumpet summons us again. Not as a call to bear arms, though arms we need. Not as a call to battle, though in battle we are. But a call to bear the burden of a long twilight struggle, year in and year out, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, a struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself.
was the very end of the Tora, Tora, Tora demonstration. Of course, a bit of a controversy here in Louisville when it was invited to take place at this show for the demonstration. But I think a lot of people here saw it today, and it did impress the crowd. And then you heard those words at the end, and it was a very, very impressive demonstration for everyone on both sides of the river. And we have had a great day here at the air show, and we want to thank Sherman Morgan. He's been our aviation expert all day long leading up to the fireworks, and I know you're looking forward to seeing those.
Oh, I am. It's fantastic. Undescribable.
Thank you very much.
Come back next year. We promise much warmer weather. That's what we always promise.
We promised that last year, I think, though.
Well, it's we're about 8 minutes away from the countdown to Thunder, and of course this is time to batten down the hatches on the 2nd Street Bridge. Let's go to Barry Burnson, where he is going into, I suppose, his protective stance.
Yes, and you can now call me Barry, Barry, Barry in honor of Tora, Tora, Tora. We're here with Sergeant Ephraim Bowles, the commander of the platoon that fires the big howitzers on the bridge. How you feeling tonight, Sergeant?
I'm feeling pretty excited. I'm about ready for this grand finale here.
This is like your moment in the sun, isn't it, every year?
This is it.
Okay, this is better than a 21-gun salute. You fire these 75-millimeter guns. Everybody on the shoreline jumps about 4 feet.
That's right, especially the first bang. Everybody's scared of it, but after that, it's clockwork.
Well, it takes some getting used to be next to these howitzers. Happy birthday to your daughter, who is how old?
3 years old. Evelise, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Evelise. Okay, Gary and Melissa, I've got to get ready for Thunder. Excuse me.
Okay, Barry, borrow his hat. I think it's better than the one you have on.
Yeah.
Get that Kevlar.
Barry needs a helmet up there. We want to go to the Indiana side of the river to Julie Koenig and find out how people there who have been waiting all day long are preparing now for the main event. Julie?
Well, Melissa, they're being very lazy, and they're waiting until the very last minute to come out here and be cold with me. This little fella down here has been waiting all afternoon long. What's your name?
Mac.
Mac, are you kind of lonely out here waiting for some people to join you?
Yep.
All right, Mac, we're going to go get you some friends. Come on, it's time to get these guys their coats on. Time to get out here. Stop drinking that beer. Hang on. Hey, you guys, you know there's a fireworks show going on. You coming out? Get your coats on. Come on. Come on and join the fun. There we go. We're getting them out here. We're getting them out there. So slowly but surely, we're going to get these Hoosiers out here to watch the fireworks show. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right. Thank you very much. And we want to go now back up to Barry Burnson. We had checked in with him just a moment ago, but I understand there's been a change in something. Barry, is this something significant for all these thousands of people here?
Well, Gary and Melissa, you know, photographer Brian Derby and I have weathered many years up here on top of the Clark Memorial Bridge, the 2nd Street Bridge. And we were going to I finally came up with $20 to be able to get in there. But, you know, it's the 10th anniversary. I think I'm just going to sit out here on the bridge, put on my gas mask, and just kind of relax and enjoy the entire thing. Okay?
Check you later.
He's bundled up for the weather.
Barry
he has
Burnson.
his gas mask for the fumes and the smoke.
Incidentally, a guy offered on the internet, sent us some email to offer to loan Barry $20 to get in the pay toilet up there on the bridge.
Well, and he says you should never get between a man and his throne. So he wanted to pay Barry's way in. He'll be glad to know that Barry got in anyway. He found the $20.
You can hear the anticipation beginning to build among the crowd. There are small little cheers beginning to gather, and up in the control center, high above us in the Galt House Hotel, Terry Miners and the entire Thunder crew are patiently waiting, but now on the edge of their seats because we are just seconds away from Thunder Over Louisville.
This is the time they all wait for. This is the time we go to the top of the Galt House, the command center, and Terry Miners.
That's right. We're jazzed, we're juiced, we're ready to rock, and I don't even get to use this finger tonight, except for maybe picking my ear or something or other, because we have the county judge and the mayor here who actually get the honors tonight here. County Judge Executive Rebecca Jackson, how are you, ma'am?
Great. It's a great day.
Happy Thunder. I called you an old broad earlier this week, but only in the most loving way. You're 50 years old. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're the best looking 50-year-old I've ever seen. Does that help?
I still remember. I still remember.
All right, you get a big duty here. You got to turn the key and help launch this in just a moment or two. I know this is very exciting for you, right?
It is. It is.
Good deal.
We're ready.
Let's say hi to the mayor, too. Mayor David Armstrong. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Nice to see you.
Welcome to your first Thunder as mayor. You've been through this many times as county judge. Does it feel any different being the mayor now?
It does feel a lot different because as I turn that key, that's the thing that separates Louisville from the rest of the world.
making us a world-class city.
We're the biggest and we're the baddest tonight, and looking forward to the big show. We've been waiting on it all day today. Thank you, Mayor and County Judge. They're ready. That's ready. Do you have your wrists limber? They're ready to go. We are only 3 minutes away from the launch here tonight. Well, a lot of people ask me, they say, Terry, you got a great job there in the command center. How much do you get paid? And luckily, I already had them write my check out, so I'd be ready for it tonight. There it is. Here's my paycheck for tonight. $1 for whatever it says on there, my measly talent or alleged talent or something. I really appreciate that very much there. Mr. Mayor, that'll work for my city tax bill. I hope that gets me out of that anyway. He keeps sending it to me over and over again. All right, if we're about ready to go here, what we have here is a whole panel that's going to show you each system as it's ready to launch. And we'll go down here and we do have the magic button that they've told me do not touch, just in case I must stop this show. I am allowed to hit that button right there. And the judge has been instructed to slap my hand until we get specific instructions telling us to do so. Our countdown is now at 2 minutes and 8 seconds before the actual launch of Thunder Over Louisville, the biggest, baddest show, the best of Thunder, a compilation of the last 10 years. Oh, this is bigger than the time my car blew up because I put the wrong kind of gas in it. All right, how close are we getting to? I'm hearing noises coming out here, and the lights are searching the sky. Everybody's waiting. We've got a couple 100,000, many hundreds of thousands of people lined up the shore, all looking skyward. I hear a giant voice now chiming in. T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds. It was a man with a Darth Vader-like voice telling us it's almost showtime for Thunder Over Louisville. You've been hearing us talk about this. You've been worried that we've been hyping you to death on this. Well, just wait. You're about to get your eyes blown out of their sockets with Thunder Over Louisville. We're almost ready for the launch. I think we were waiting for a thoroughbred to come through. Now, Judge Rebecca Jackson, the light is flashing in the command center. She's armed. Mayor, she's armed. Mayor Armstrong.
Starting with ground zero. Go. Barge A. Go. Barge B. Go. Bridge. Go. Light on. We're go. System lock. We're go. Control. Go. Audio. We are go. Recovery. Go. Safe op. We're go. Petcom. Go. TC. I'm good to go. Launch control, this is Thunder Command. We are go for launch.
And we're off with Thunder Over Louisville. We're off and going.
What are you talking about?
of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Unforgettable in every way. And forevermore. That's how you'll stay.
That's how you'll stay.
That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too. Beneath the someone's thinking of me and loving me tonight.
Somewhere out there, someone saying a prayer that we'll find one another in that big somewhere out there. And even though I know how very far apart we are, it helps to think we might be wishing on the same bright star.
And when the night wind starts to sing a lonesome lullaby, it helps to think we're sleeping underneath the same big
Now that's power. Tell me about it. I just hear that name and I shout Mufasa. Do it again. Mufasa. 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 Mufasa.
Everybody looks left. Everybody looks right. Everywhere you look, I'm standing in the spotlight.
Not yet.
Oh, I just can't wait to be free. Oh, I
gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
that is why they call it Thunder.
It just goes through your entire body every year, and I can tell you for 28 minutes, Gary and I have been doing this for a long time, and for the entire period, just about all we say to one another is, wow, that is really great. And
a few aftershocks.
I think they have a few leftovers.
Those are just tremors from the fault line.
Well, this crowd certainly waited a long time for Thunder, but they got their money's worth and their patience worth and their time's worth today.
I want to tell you, they're really, really warmed up now. That was a terrific finale. Once again, perhaps the best ever. Let's go to Barry Burnson to see. Well, let's see if he survived. Barry, Barry.
I'm out here somewhere. But I don't know where. I'll see you next year.
Barry Burnson survives another trip on the 2nd Street Bridge. He has done that for several years now. I think he even had some underwater scuba gear one year that helped protect him.
Well, let's go to Terry Miners, who's up in the control center, and let's see if it is considered to be a successful launch. Terry?
It was tremendous all the way through, and we just saw a very naked Barry Burnson fly by here just a second ago. So I guess we'll have to send somebody downriver to try and locate him. He's all right, though. He was flailing his arms and gave us a thumb up. How you doing, pal?
Oh, it was great.
Tim Creed, it was an awesome show.
Absolutely.
I was tempted to hit this button back here. Can I hit it now?
Sure, go ahead.
Please. Here's the one I was not allowed to hit earlier. Here's what happens. Abort? Oh, no go. That's what they always say when I go for pickup food. Wayne Hettinger, another excellent show.
I was pretty impressed myself, I got to tell you.
The best of Thunder.
I certainly think so. You think we can take it up another notch?
You're going to have to, because the Millennium's turning over, and this will be the guy to do it.
The guy to do it,
That's
Michael Richard.
Michael Richard with the Zambelli Company. Another fine show there, partner.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here again. I'm glad it turned out the way it did.
I heard an interesting fact today that there were actually some people from other fireworks companies. I didn't know there were other fireworks companies, but they probably all cried and went home now. They're quitting the business.
They come and scout. They're interested in what's going on at Thunder, but I hope they enjoyed the show.
They'll never find out what's going on up in here. Good show.
No way. Thank you.
All right, and let me say hi again to the mayor. Mr. Mayor, beautiful night tonight.
A great night, and we got to thank all the sponsors. What a wonderful show this is. Next year going to be better and better and better.
If we can just get those UPS jets to shoot little fireworks out of here now and again, too, just for fun, to keep us primed for this show every year.
Keep us on alert.
Have a good Derby season.
Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, I think Pam overpaid you.
I got $1 for my pay, and well, I'll give that to County Judge Rebecca Jackson.
Paying you $1 a year, man, for us?
I am.
That's what it is.
Your tax rates are lower, so here, you keep that and put that toward my taxes.
This'll never get it. This won't even pay you out of the doghouse for what you called me earlier this
I'm
week.
sorry. You look good for a woman in her 70s. All right, back
Thank
to you,
you so
Gary
much.
Melissa. I didn't mean that.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Oh, Terry Miner's in trouble in the doghouse with the county judge executive. I want to tell you, did you notice the beautiful colors this year? I hope you could see at home on
They
TV.
said that they would be more vivid, and you could even see purples and oranges in the colors. Rachel Platt is with the crowd, and we want to find out what they thought of this 10th anniversary of Thunder. Rachel?
Melissa, can you see me? I'm in the middle of the crowd here. Everybody's leaving, but during the day I promised a bunch of kids they could be on TV. These are all the ones I promised they could be on TV. Quickly, Jessica, what did you think of the fireworks?
They were good.
Really good? One of the kids in the crowd actually slept through the whole thing, I'm told. And Jessica, you wanted to let your teacher know. Apparently Jefferson County students in Kentucky have big important tests, but you said to your teacher you wanted to tell her you are ready for your test and it was okay to be here?
Yeah.
Okay.
We studied before we came here. Hi, Miss Povey.
Okay, so they wanted to say it. Did you enjoy Thunder?
They studied, but they've been knocked senseless by the Thunder now.
That was Rachel at Waterfront Park. Let's check in now with Julie Koenig. She's been on the Indiana shore. Julie?
We got all the smoke over here, guys. I hope you got a clear shot of those fireworks. Hey, I'm joined by Big Mac. Mac, did I bring you enough friends?
Yep.
Yeah, we had a full deck over here. What'd you think?
Cool.
Cool. What was the best part?
I don't know.
And we've got Mac's mom and his Nana as well. What'd you think, Nana?
Great, as usual.
And Mom?
It
was freezing, but it was worth it.
Okay, freezing but cold, and we're still choking on the smoke. Back to you in Kentucky.
So that's where the smoke went.
Somebody's got to get the smoke.
We didn't get any on the Belvedere this year. We got it all last year.
We got it all last year.
Thank you very much, Julie, for taking that over for us.
And on the clear Belvedere, we find Kirby Adams with reaction from the fans here. Kirby?
Gary, you'll never guess who I found. Helen and Darren, all the way from Northern Ireland. But hang on, guys, for 1 second. You guys came all the way from Northern Ireland, not just for this, but what do you think?
This is truly a spectacular event, something I've never experienced in my life before, and it was truly brilliant. I'd like to say hello to my friends up in Molly Malone's, Troy, Chris, and the daddy.
All right. Yeah. Helen, what did you think about this?
Well, I thought it was great. Before it all happened, I was freezing, but when the lights started flashing, I warmed up. It was great. I loved it.
Thank you so much, Helen and Darren. We all warmed up as soon as those fireworks went off. Back to you, Gary and Melissa.
All right, thank you very much, Kirby, with some excited Thunder fans here on the Belvedere.
Well, let's take one more look at Barry Burnson, who's on the 2nd Street Bridge. And as you know, Barry's been up there for years, and he's really done. Would somebody call Kathy Burnson and tell her that, well...
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
You think 10 years was too much?
It could have been. Could have been old age.
Barry, don't scare us like this. We like you, guy. We like you up there on that bridge.
It's okay, Barry, but be sure to be on Good Morning Kentuckiana on Monday morning. You can have the rest of the weekend off.
Take the weekend off. Enjoy your anniversary, I hear, too.
Well, that's Thunder Over Louisville, the 10th anniversary edition. And can you just imagine that they want to take it up another notch? Perhaps the traffic jam going home tonight will be somewhat not as bad as it's been in the past. It has been gridlocked down here on Thunder night, sometimes well past midnight. But as you can see, you're looking at I-64 right now, and at least traffic moving in an easterly direction is going pretty well. It looks like west is pretty tied up now. But we're going to continue to follow Thunder Over Louisville and the trip home. Coming up, Gene West and Doug Proffitt will be taking over here for the next hour, and then our 11 o'clock newscast will follow on schedule. We'll be wrapping up all the day's activities, the air show and Thunder Over Louisville. So our day is not quite yet over. It began at 6 a.m. this morning, and we bring it to you wall to wall here on Kentuckiana's News
And
Channel.
it will continue. It certainly will as people are going home. And, of course, this is the kickoff for the Kentucky Derby Festival. And we do want to wish everyone a happy Derby Festival, a safe Derby day. And good luck to everyone who's having parties and enjoying themselves and enjoying the city of Louisville. This is what it's all about. It's for the people of the city of Louisville to celebrate the wonderful place where we live. And we've had a great day being with you.
That's our coverage of Thunder Over Louisville on Kentuckiana's News Channel. For Melissa Swan, I'm Gary Rodemeyer. Good night for just a while. Gene and Doug will be here right away.
Good night.
This special 10th anniversary Best of Thunder celebration and the opening ceremonies of the Kentucky Derby Festival have been sponsored by the Kroger Company. You can always count on us. By UPS, moving at the speed of business. And by Tyson Holly Farms. We're Chicken. The official coverage of Thunder Over Louisville is an exclusive production of WHAS 11.